So there he is. Do you recognize him? I'm sure you do. That's a young William Shatner. That was in his episode of The Fugitive, The Mirror, and that was one of the shows I watched growing up. One of the best shows you'll ever see. There's nothing like that on TV anymore. With David Jansen, he was just arguably our best actor for TV shows. And it's tragic. They worked him to death. There's a great story about him. If I could put a link in if you haven't heard. They were making so much money off this guy that they just worked him to death. He died a few years after his show went off the air. So William Shatner did that. He's from Montreal and referred to as Captain Kirk, but Don Cherry would take issue of that. There's only one Captain Kirk, Kirk Muller. Just happened to watch a video of that the other day. So he's now going into space on Bezos's airline, which is the point of the video, but I'll just, for purposes of background, Shatner then became a star on Star Trek. The show only lasted 3 years, if you can believe it. It was a pretty big show. I wasn't a big Star Trek fan, but I did watch the episodes. There wasn't much good shows on back then. But none of the other actors liked him. In fact, they hated him. And he was very jealous of Leonard Nimoy's character and all the attention he got. He thought everybody should love me, and they didn't. And then he went on to star on Boston Legal, which I thought he was excellent in as Denny Crane. They actually did one episode about dementia, which was really great. And then he did some commercials, Travelocity, or one of the travel companies he was doing a lot of commercials for. And now he's got a show on RT, which is really bad, I think. I never listened to it. So he's always working. Give him credit for that. He had 4 wives, and the third wife, Nerine Kidd from Boston, she drowned, or that was the cause of death. But she drowned with a lot of bruises on her. He and his wife fought quite a lot, and there was an investigation into whether he had anything to do with it. I watched that very carefully, but they decided not to charge him. So now I think I'm really disappointed that he is going up into space, but not surprised. Jeff Bezos is going to get a lot of publicity out of this because he can say Captain Kirk, and all the Star Trek stuff. They can do some real good marketing. I thought this guy was better than that, but I guess he's not. I thought there's so much more he could be doing to help people who really need it. And instead, he chose the selfish thing to go up and just worry about himself. So I'm really disappointed in this guy, but as I say, I'm not surprised. He's not the greatest guy, and I was just reading a couple articles before. Apparently he's not that great of an actor as far as range. So I'll put links into those. Just really disappointed in this gentleman for putting his selfish desires ahead of altruistic things he could really do with his money and fame to help people in need. Usually Canadians are people we think, what a great guy. Occasionally they do the wrong thing, and this, in my opinion, is one of those examples.